Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. It's a whole lot later than that, 2024, more than 4 years of Torah every single day. Today is broadcast 1030. It is day 185 since October 7th. There's a lot on our minds. There is beauty in the air, and there are tears, too. But what makes this community truly special is that through it all, for the last 4.5 years, we have found each other and shared love. It's good to see all of you. Jacqueline, Natalie, Jill, Boker Tov, Linda, kind soul, good to see you. Barry, I hope that you are safe and well. Sharon, hi. This is a holy community. Arlene, Boker Tov, Hineni as well. Jerry, good to see you. Let's give it a second, see who else is here so we can say good morning. Debbie, good morning, Colorado. And Jacqueline, good to see you. Deborah, sending love to Ohio. Adrian, my friend, hope you are well. It's good to see you too. Hi, Sunday. Boker Tov. Anya, hi. We'll give it one more second, then we'll sing a bracha for learning. Ron, good to see you. Barry, good morning. Hi, Diane. Okay, here we go. Catherine, it's only 11 p.m. in Australia. Gewalt, so good to have you here. Jerry and Rosa, okay. I said we were going to start, but then I saw more friends on the screen, and how can I not say hello? Dale and Adrian, good morning, friends. Hi, Debbie. Okay. Really going to take a breath, sing a blessing, sing with me. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la. Ay ay la la, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech haolam Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu La'asok b'divrei Torah, La'asok b'divrei Torah, Hafoch ba v'hafoch ba, La'asok b'divrei Torah. Did'ai lai 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 lai, Did'ai lai lai lai, Did'ai lai 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 lai. Ay, ay, la, la, la. Good morning, friends. So let's start with a few dedications. I'm sure that many of us were at the rallies all over the world, marking 6 months since October 7th. Today is not only broadcast 1030, thank you, Penny, it is also day 185. And our hearts are absolutely united with our peoples and broken and together. And so I hope, friends, that not only were you present and attuned to all of the solidarity that we were showing our people in a moment of great need, I also hope that you felt united with our people in this moment of great need. There's no question that we need each other. And we'll come back to that. But within that, I'm assuming that many of us have now seen the videos of Rachel Goldberg, Hirsch Goldberg, Poland's mother, who has been iconic in her steadfast love for her child and her solidarity with all of the hostages, all 133 of them. She had a moment where she finally showed externally what we know must be true in every cell of her being, and we held her as she cried. She is representative of all of us. And if you would do me this favor, this very big favor, even before we learn some Torah today, send her your strength. Send Rachel and Jonathan your strength. I also ask, friends, that you do what I am trying to do, which is make sure that the trajectory of any period of learning does what a Pesach Seder is going to do. It is what it's designed to do, which is that we start in Ganai, we start with the things that are hardest, and we move towards Shavach. We move with faith in a direction of praise. And so I'm not leaving behind the intention that I just named, but I would also dare not leave behind the joy, friends, of Sandy and Steve and their new grandson. Mazel tov, friends. We celebrate every new life because Am Yisrael Chai is definitely amplified with every new piece of Chaim, every new piece of life. So friends, I ask you to make sure to experience the joy too, to let it in. I did this last Shabbat and Sunday with an extraordinary gathering that I hope you will enjoy hearing about as I just wax grateful for a moment. The Mut Beit Din, which is a national convening, actually international, joint project of the Maimonides Fund and Hadar, a beautiful place of Jewish learning based here in New York City, but all over the world, brought together hundreds of Jewish high school students who have been preparing for many, many months to present a case, a legal, halachic, spiritual case. And the way that they brought together the sources that they were presented and the expertise and bravery and camaraderie that they shared was only part of the celebration. It was also incredibly affirming, healing, and filling for me to witness Jews, young Jews of different kinds, singing and praying and laughing and crying and eating and learning. I had among the most healing of Shabbatot I've ever had witnessing this, and I was blessed that my daughter was part of this. I got to be there as a judge, and so I gave her, obviously, her space to have her own experience, but I got to be there reveling in the strength of our young people. So I want to bless you, friends, that you remain open to the strengthening things that are happening within our community these days too. And I want to wish a mazel tov to my daughter's team for placing as one of the winners of the Mut Beit Din, and my gratitude to Hadar for an extraordinary and hopeful gathering of young Jews. Okay, that's a lot of preamble, friends. Let's do a little bit of Torah. This is Parshat Tazria, and often, when it's not a leap year, we read Tazria and Metzora together. Those are two Torah portions that are often read on the same Shabbat, and they deal with a disease which is often misunderstood. The disease is called Metzora. Metzora is often mistranslated as leprosy, and it's not. It is anything but that. Metzora is the kind of physical manifestation of a spiritual malady that can be on your garment, if it changes the garment's clothing, on the wall of our homes, on our vessels, and even on our skins. The Torah talks about Metzora afflicting people, including Miriam the prophetess. And it comes as a response, we believe, according to rabbinic interpretation, Metzora, the person who has it, right, is Motzi Shemra, someone who spoke ill of someone else, as Miriam and Aaron did of their brother Moses, and as so many of us are tempted to do, especially when things get bad. Now, that's not actually what the Torah describes. The Torah describes an ailment that appears on someone's skin, and in those ancient days, who did you turn to for a spiritual diagnosis? The priest. The priest was called to examine, and then in this week's Parsha, we have verses that describe how much they could determine where the affliction happens, the color it changes the skin, and a very interesting thing happens. If there is a blemish on the person's skin, the Kohen then has to figure out, is it Metzora or not? But then the Torah does something very interesting, something strange actually, and says, what if the ailment, which could turn skin white, covers their entire body? And the Torah says something fascinating here, and this is something I'd like to suggest for today. If the entire body of the human being we're talking about has been afflicted, turns completely white, then they are pure. And that's strange. You would assume that if there was one dot, and that would make the person tameh or tme'ah, diagnosed with mitzora, they had to separate from the community. Well, why, if it's covering their entire body, are they not considered quarantined? That they're not considered contaminated? And there's a lot to say about this, but what I want to connect it to is a mystical idea. So go with me a little bit deeper. If it covers the entire body, the person is not to be separated. The rabbis, especially the mystics, connect this to the idea of when will the Messiah come. The world always, I hope not always, often feels like it is in deep need of a better day. Please God, not always, but recently, certainly. These 6 months, certainly. When will the Messiah come? That is a question that Jews and others have asked for eternity, and every different faith has a different answer. But for Jews, when will the Messiah come? And the mystics have many different answers to this question. One of the answers is when the generation merits the Messiah will come. It's one of the reasons we believe that every mitzvah we do, every good act, every ritual act, every time we daven with real intention, and every time we hold the door for someone, every time we give tzedakah, every time we show up as helpers in the world, we bring the Messiah one step closer. It's a gorgeous idea, and I believe it fully. But there's an alternative idea as well, which is not when the world deserves it, but when the world so desperately needs it, when we feel the brokenness, all of us, everywhere, to our depths. Here's something I'd like to suggest, friends. In this moment, where our people is entirely feeling this, where we are feeling overwhelming gratitude for the birth of a new life, as we are feeling the brokenness of so much loss, the grief that has only begun, and some indeterminate in-between phase for the families of the hostages and for all of us, when we are feeling the impossibility of Pesach, the holiday of liberation, even when we are not yet fully liberated. These two ideas, as Rosa is saying, they are not mutually exclusive. When we deserve it, we always deserve it. Who doesn't deserve a better day? When does the world not deserve to move towards the light? On a day of a full eclipse, we should be aware of this, that this is a moment where a full light can be prayed for because of its complete absence for a few minutes. We, I believe, friends, do deserve a better day. Who doesn't? And we are in deep need of a better day, absolutely right now. So I want to bless us with the teaching from Mitzora. Remember that if the body is completely covered with this affliction, it is fitting and kosher and doesn't need to be moved anywhere. It is perfectly kosher. May our world find its way into belonging, into a complete belonging. May the circles of belonging remind us that we belong to each other. In these moments where true and full darkness threatens, and when even the sky reminds us of what the absence of light could feel like, may we remember that we are always worthy of a better day and that we can make it come even sooner by being kind, by showing love, yes, by fighting for justice as well, but not only fighting for justice out of our own tribal pain, recognizing that the human being, every human being, is created in the divine image and is worthy of the light. We are, as Rosa just wrote, you are so wise, my friend, we are all connected. May we feel entirely connected so that we know that any place there's a dot that could be considered Mitzora, well, that affects all of us. And if we allow it to affect all of us, if we allow it to affect all of us, to acknowledge that we are all implicated, all affected, then maybe a better day will come sooner. We are all connected, my friends. These are days that make it really, really hard and really, really important to allow this tribal pain to be named and to wield it as a tool of love, a reminder of what it is to be an interconnected human world, so that we can remember what it is to be human. That's what it means to bring the Messiah closer, to bring each other closer, to name the pain, to demand its recognition, and to fight for every human being's welfare. Kindness, friends. Kindness. Holding on to 133 human souls. And as Rachel said in yesterday's searing talk, includes Arab Muslims, it includes Black Africans, it includes Thai Buddhists, Israeli Jews, citizens of 33 countries, and at least 5 faiths, babies, elders. I'm closing my eyes, and at some point today when the eclipse begins, we'll have that darkness and it will touch us. May it sensitize us to the light every person deserves. May it motivate us to do the work we are called to do, to extend the light. Bring them home now. Bring them into the light. God, give us the chance to hug our family again. Help us start the great work of rebuilding. Kol od balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ Zion Virushalayim. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, friends.